Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello, you're welcome to today's edition of Money Radio on Leadership Podcast. Money Radio brings you the latest development in business cycles in Nigeria and around the world. My name is Innocent Odo, and today we are looking at a very important topic as we talk about the technology segment of the Money Radio. We're looking at how to maximize, of course, and improve the Nigeria's space science technology in order to tackle the challenges that have been introduced to the country by the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm not alone in the studio. I'm here with an ICT expert, Mr. Hanel Jafaru. Hanel, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. It might interest you to know that Nigeria has a national policy, a national space policy, which was introduced in 2001. Nigeria also has an enabling act with which he established what they call the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASRDA, which is the agency that is in charge of space technology in Nigeria. And this particular agency, of course, has made some very significant strides in its quest to put Nigeria in the world map of space technology with some of the achievements it has recorded. But on the program today, we're going to look at how we're going to maximize space technology in Nigeria to be able to tackle the problems that were brought about by the COVID-19, issues of poverty, how we're going to map our minerals, help reducing poverty, and also create employment for the teeming youth of the country. And so, Daniel, we are in an era of COVID-19. This pandemic has refused to go. In fact, it has actually started mutating into different variants. We now have Omicron that is about, of course, almost causing some diplomatic row between Nigeria and some countries around the world. Thankfully, some of them are beginning to reverse some of the harsh decisions they took against Nigeria because of this COVID-19. So we are in an era where we need to maximize the opportunities that, in fact, even the COVID-19 provided for us. Not just about havoc, it's also about opportunities. So we have space science technology and what Nigeria must do right away. What do we do at this point in time, Handel?
Well, COVID-19, there's everything that's an advantage usually comes with its own disadvantage. So what you do is you minimize the disadvantage or the negative side, and you maximize the advantage. So while COVID-19 is looking as though it's entering it, so where everybody wants it by now should be gone, but there are still some things that it's bringing forth that can be, if properly utilized or if properly maximized, can push a country from where it was to a better place. Now, let's take, for example, the Zoom.
Yes.
If, for example, Zoom was a company that nobody knew, persons knew about it, but they did not, they were not just concerned about what it does yet. And that kind of company is in Nigeria. Yet, the emergence of COVID-19 would mean that Nigeria would now have a globally respected company. Yet, so that's just one of the advantages. But looking at it from the space research, NASRDA so far it's one agency that I know to be working not in the realm of a regular Nigerian. They work beyond that. If you go to their office, it's usually not something you won't see. They are always busy.
Yeah.
They are always working. It's not an office you go and they'll tell you that there is no light and all that, because their style and approach to work is different from the regular Nigerian agency. So I would not be surprised when they come forth to say, we are doing this, we are doing that, we are doing this. So generally, space research is one area that we definitely must maximize. What's the essence of space research? What's the essence of satellites? You need satellites for remote sensing to be able to remotely monitor your environment. You also need satellites for defense and security. All the banditry, Boko Haram, ISWAP, and all that, they can be curbed with high utilization of satellite technology. Yes. So we also need satellite technology for communication. As it stands, Nigeria has two satellites in the orbit.
Yes.
We have the Nigerian Sat-1. The Nigerian Sat-1 was first introduced in 1976, but it was never launched until when the space policy was introduced during the comeback to democracy in 1999, which inaugurated the NASRDA and our Nigeria Sat-1 was the design started and it was launched later on. But sadly, after it was launched, there was an issue, and that issue is that there was power failure, and satellite is not like a car that you can just drive to the mechanic. Okay, so once it's down, once a major component of the satellite goes down, it invariably means that you have to do something else. You have to do another one. So another one was redesigned, called Nigerian Sat-1R. Now the good thing about that was that it was done, I think, with is it Nigerian Sat-1 that becomes Sat-1R? But another one was redesigned 2011, and it was expected to exist for 7 years, 2011 to 2018. But even the DG recently mentioned that satellite is still in the orbit, serving us, and it is serving us by the grace of God, because it is expected to have worn out. It's not expected to still be in existence because of the hardware that was used to do it. So they just designed it for something. They designed it for just a couple of years, but it's still working. And that satellite, that Nigerian Sat-1, was used to it's an Earth surveillance or Earth monitoring satellite. That's what we use majorly to monitor the Nigerian terrain, to monitor the density. Talking about COVID-19 era now, what's the population density of a particular location? It is with satellites like that you use to monitor what is the meteorology of a particular location. It is satellite like that you use to carry out all those things. You monitor the weather, you monitor the environment generally. What area tends to be sunny, what area tends to be rainy, what area would be effective for planting certain crops. Generally, that's what the Nigerian Sat-1 satellite is aimed at doing. So far, so good. It is doing what it needs to do, but there is a whole lot of things that needs to be done, because that is just one satellite. There are many different types of satellites. Now we have another one called the Nagicom Sat. Nagicom Sat was also launched 2011, and it's supposed to expire 2026. That's the estimate. Nagicom Sat to elapse, but no, the Nagicom Sat is a space. It's a communication satellite. That's what brings about bandwidth. That's what brings about earlier on. But for those who probably would not know, the old VSAT and KU band and satellite internet that is coming and all that, all those were possible because there was that is in operation. Yeah, so now talking about the good thing, all the satellites that we have launched, they were designed and launched in other countries. Nagicom Sat did the replacement for the Nagicom Sat. So it was more of the existing today, they are they are not they are not designed by Nigerians. They were not launched. It was designed. Opportunities that are in that terrain to explore the opportunities like rocket designs, rocket manufacturing, because that's what you use in launching satellites to the orbit. You use rockets to launch. So let's begin to look at those opportunities.
Yeah, definitely to create job for us. But just like this, for instance, I think I remember talking with the DG of NASRDA, that's Professor Ahmed Shaba, who also told me that yes, even as Nigeria had made that, taken some giant steps to becoming more independent in that technology. There's a lot to be done in terms of funding because the normal funding cannot take care of the necessary needs of the agency and of course to drive towards that space policy of the country. I'm talking about extra budgetary arrangements. But that hasn't happened in the last couple of years because we are actually, of course, the kind of budget take care of some of these important things into consideration.
While funding is a major concern in all agencies, it now still depends on who are the aim of affair, what's their technological insights. Because you can't roll out, you can't give what you don't have. Yes, what's their technological insight? What do they know about space technology? Yes, it's not. Let it not just be that we use satellites to bring image and we use image to capture around, but it goes beyond that. During the Goodluck Jonathan administration, when they brought in machineries, those machineries during that period that those machineries were working or were active, we recorded huge success in fight against insurgency. And what actually happened? We were using satellites. So even though you have there are categories of there are satellites that can go down to even check the soil deep down to check. So there's a light that are just above and only above there are still things and funding for NASRDA that has received since 2000 to date is around $1 billion. Countries that have their own space stations. That they are different satellites. People can contact them and tell them, please, they have issue with my satellite, go and fix my satellite.
Nigeria's space science and technology, and we talk about how to use our economy and, of course, fight insurgency and create jobs for the teeming youth of the country. I've been in the studio with Anil Jafaru, an ICT expert.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio. Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
So before we went on that short break, we're talking about how to increase the budgetary allocation for this very important sector of the Nigerian economy. It is a big sector, and I think that a very great effort should be made in at least attracting more budgetary allocation for that sector. I understand that there's, of course, constraint about issues of budgeting in the country, but areas like this that can help to reflate the economy. Because right now we're talking about digital technology as a tool to, help diversify the economy. So these are some of the areas where government can actually look into and allocation to these areas. Because if the economy is reflected from this angle, then we can then spread the development. If it means as we're going to borrow, we can borrow as much in order to make this sector become more viable.
Yes, it's definitely, this is one of the sectors that has potential to reveal the world. Now, looking at it from the first, what happens is now ready to be launched.
Self-reliance.
Now, looking at it from the fact that we are the first country in Africa to do that, that means we can begin to design satellites for other African countries at a cheaper rate compared to the way they do it in China.
Interesting.
You get so, and it's all about dotting the I's and crossing the I's and crossing the T's. And other African countries becomes our where we earn our funds from, because Satellite technology is not just a technology that you do and it goes up, it dies down. No, there are places of maintenance. There are places where there are states where the times where you need to do maintenance. It's where it's a minor maintenance and all that. Then there are times where, like this imagery now, we have most of the cases that came up in NDDC.
Yes.
Was allocation of funds for projects that either never existed or have been done before. So more of like double allocation.
Of course.
And what actually caused this was because the project supervisor cannot go to the site for fear of insecurity. So instead of him going to the site, instead of him putting on paper that I did not visit the site, so because of insecurity, they will just assume what they are being told, and they will approve that certain project has been executed and was executed fine. Yet now with satellite technology or with imagery, the project manager or project director does not need to go to site. The person just needs to sit down in his office, put in the coordinates for that particular project, remotely monitor the project from when they started work till when they finish. At every point in time, he can be capturing the image of the project as it is ongoing. So you don't need to tell him that they finished the project. He's seeing it. It's like a live stream. It's like a video. You're seeing it. Yet, with all these things, only work when you have high definition satellite that is very, very close to the ground. That has the ability to capture almost ground level information. That is where you can